What was that when Aryan took your audition, final one? What was that like?
Oh my God, I come back home exhausted because that was the most grueling session of an audition ever. Firstly, two big scenes were given.
Okay.
And then he's just watching you perform. So if I'm standing here, he's not even sitting dur se or asking somebody to record. I think there was some person recording, but he's watching you like that.
Oh my.
And I'm just like, okay.
Finally, who told you that you have nailed it and you've made it, you got the part?
Aryan.
What was that? What was that? On the call or met you?
He called me on 2nd of March 2023. I was at a cafe sitting with a couple of other people. So I've excused myself. I've gone out. And I was still feeling maybe he's calling me to tell me you were good. But, I'm so sorry. But he called me. He said, congratulations. You're playing Karishma Talwar. And your audition was really good. And very excited to work with you.
Did you scream?
I was really trying my best to sound composed and calm. And I was like, thank you.
At what point do you meet Shah Rukh Khan?
I met him the first time at Red Chilli's office when we was having this little puja right before the show.
Yeah.
And he's somebody I've grown up loving and admiring. I know all the dialogues to his films. I know all the footsteps to his songs. Even now when we dance at Manna together at his parties and all, him and I, we just dance to Chammak Chalo because I just know all the steps.
Wow.
And to finally see him in person, I remember the first time I froze a little bit because I cannot believe I'm seeing this person in real life. But he was so sweet and warm, and I think he sensed that I was a little shy. So he came up, he hugged me, and he said, congratulations, welcome to Red Chilli's. And he's just always been so warm.
There are so many scenes where I myself, being an outsider, feel that yaar ye to aisa hua hai. Did you feel any scene that wow, this has happened around me and I've seen this?
Wow. I think when they're just fake praising each other on the red carpet. I think all of that is quite
Everybody has a list of filmmakers that I want to work. Yeah, who tops your list? Who all top your list?
Oh my God, it's Imtiaz sir, Shujit Sarkar, Meghna Gulzar, Karan sir. There's just too many. Zoya Akhtar.
Right.
Hi, this is Sahher Bambba and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.
Sir, welcome to Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you.
Good to meet you after watching and enjoying Bads. Thank you for entertaining us.
Thank you so much.
Tell me what has been the reaction? What is it? What are the most messages saying in your inbox?
Can I tell you, ever since the show has dropped, I've not left my phone. Even in the middle of the night, I'm just opening DMs and seeing all the memes that people are sharing. The response has been just so overwhelming in the best way possible. And a lot of love for the characters, all the characters in fact. So grateful, very grateful.
Let's take you back. Let this be the interview that people watch to get to know you.
Yes.
We did one interview long back before your first film debut, right?
Yes.
Firstly, that debut and this had a long gap.
Yes.
What were you doing in between?
Oh my God, I was auditioning every single day. And then also COVID happened. I was in Shimla for 2 years.
Okay.
Then I came back or started auditioning again. Did some work in between. But of course, was still hoping that, people start recognizing me as an actor. But auditions were just happening almost every single day.
Right.
And also Bads of Bollywood came to me at a time where I'll be very honest, just dejected from so many rejections. Because it almost felt like a pattern where I would make it to the short list and just never get cast. And so it was beginning to take a toll on me. I started to get a little exhausted with that entire process. That I remember the first call that I got from Karan Mali and Nandini Shrikant's team to audition for Karishma Talwar was in 2022 August.
Okay.
And my first reaction was, "Okay, kar lungi audition, but nahi hoga," because it just felt too good to be true and too far-fetched. So this wait has been quite the wait. This journey has been quite a journey. And I've seen it all actually.
Yeah, it's amazing that you're here today. We are talking in such good and happy times.
Yes.
But tell me, even say when your debut film happened, it was great to bag that. It had all the tick marks, produced by Sunny Deol and all that.
Yes.
Karan's launch.
Yes.
But again, when that box office the film didn't fly as well I'd imagined. What was that like?
Very, how do I put it? It just felt like a dream just it felt like a dream shattering right in front of your eyes. And that was my biggest learning also of the industry, is that I fortunately got great reviews even for that.
Yeah.
But my biggest learning was that eventually when this film doesn't do well, nothing works.
Nothing works.
So that was my biggest learning. Yeah.
But then you said so many auditions didn't go through.
Yeah.
How does one wake up, Sahher, and go for another audition? What kept you going?
Yes. I think just the drive in me to really prove myself as an actor. And I often used to think, to myself that I came to Mumbai city to do my college not because I wanted to study,
right,
but because I really wanted to kind of take those 3 years and just audition around. So why did I start in the first place?
Yeah.
I never really thought of giving up, though of course there were days where I thought, I don't know, things will ever pan out the way I want them to. But I really just kept going at it.
So when there was a day did you feel like, I'm going back, I'm packing my bags and going back home?
Yeah, I mean, of course there were days where I'm like, why am I always making it to the shortlist and never, getting cast? And started to question a lot of things. And but I mean, that could have been an easier option, but I didn't want to do that because my love for acting and love for films is just way too much to just pack up and go back.
Like today, when you're in a much positive space and this has become such a big hit, when you look back, why do things not work out? Do you think it's not meant to be? Or what is it?
Now I've started to believe in destiny quite a bit, and my mom keeps telling me that what is yours will come to you, and what doesn't come to you was never really destined for you. So it just, that feeling of being dejected and disappointed kind of like subsides. Of course, you feel it in the first couple of hours or maybe a day or two.
Yeah.
But I strongly believe that what's for you will just come to you.
Yeah. So my mom has seen it all. What is she saying now that this became a hit? What was her reaction?
She's very happy. I remember even after the first 2 auditions for the show, I was telling mom that, I could get this part, may not get this part. We don't know, but there's a final and a third round of audition which Aryan will be taking.
Wow,
my mother has just prayed and prayed and prayed. So I feel more than my victory, it's her victory.
Yeah, nothing like mom's prayers.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing. Then when you get a Aryan Khan audition also, like you hear that how like the lesson is audition karte raho, try karte raho.
Absolutely. I think if you're in it for the right reasons and if you're in it for the love of acting and for the love of films, then you just have to keep going, and there's absolutely no other way, and things will pan out one day or the other.
Right. Then came, what was that when Aryan took your audition, final one? What was that like?
Oh my God, I've come back home exhausted because that was the most grueling session of an audition ever. Firstly, 2 big scenes were given.
Okay.
And then he's just watching you perform. So if I'm standing here, he's not even sitting dur se or asking somebody to record. I think there was some person recording, but he's watching you like that.
Oh my.
And I'm just like, okay, like that's a bit too much.
Yeah.
And then same scenes, we did lots of variations. So, and lots and lots of takes of different variations. So by the time I've come back home, I was exhausted.
Wow.
I've had quite a day.
Wow, but all your experience of audition on that day, did that help, or do you think it was still too much?
It actually was still too much, if I'm being very honest. But I think these things help. Lots of auditions, because every day you're at it. Yeah.
Why is Aryan, a new director himself, so hard to please?
Oh wow, because I think he was so clear in his vision.
Okay.
He chahiye. I think lots and lots of people audition for Karishma Talwar and even for every other character. But he was just wanted to be very sure of who he wanted.
Okay.
Because he had the character so deeply etched out in his brain, every scene etched out in his brain. So I think that's why he took those many months for auditions to happen and for him to take the final round.
And finally, who told you that you have nailed it and you made it, you got the part?
Aryan.
What was that? On the call or met you?
He called me on 2nd of March 2023. I was at a cafe sitting with a couple of other people. So I've excused myself, I've gone out, and I was still feeling maybe he's calling me to tell me you were good, but I'm so sorry. But he called me. He said, "Congratulations, you're playing Karishma Talwar, and your audition was really good, and very excited to work with you."
Did you scream?
I was really trying my best to like sound composed and calm, and I was like, "Thank you." And yeah, it was very, very. I still remember that day so clearly in my head.
Wow! And tell me about that day. Then you go back and tell who all can you tell or not?
First person I called up was my mom. I said, "Mom, your prayers have finally been answered, and I'm doing this project." And she was so happy. Then I called up my dad after that, and just that day I've written it down because I really wanted to like remember that day.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, at what point do you meet Shah Rukh Khan?
I met him the first time at Red Chilli's office when we was having this little puja right before the show. And he's somebody I've grown up loving and admiring. I know all the dialogues to his films. I know all the footsteps to his songs. Even now when we dance at Manna together at his parties and all, him and I, we just dance to Chammak Chalo because I just know all the steps.
Wow.
And to finally see him in person, I remember the first time I froze a little bit because I cannot believe I'm seeing this person in real life. But he was so sweet and warm, and I think he sensed that I was a little like shy. So he came up, he hugged me, and he said, "Congratulations, welcome to Red Chilli's." And he's just always been so warm.
Wow. And then comes Aryan on the set as a director.
Yes.
Which I've heard, and that day even Bobby said I had to do so many takes.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me, what was that like? And I'm sure he must have had his own tough days.
Yeah.
You must have had your own tough days.
Yeah.
Today, how do you see that? Today is different, right?
I think I've had a great experience on the set. Aryan was definitely a hard taskmaster because he wanted what he wanted.
Okay.
And if that requires 10 takes, 20 takes, 50 takes, and not just with us, even with like senior actors like Manoj sir and Bobby sir, he did it. And we all gave it because we also were equally passionate about the project. And we also we were just, okay, we want one more, come on, let's do this.
Let's do this.
And but otherwise his energy on set, off set is just so chill. I've never seen that guy angry in my life. And I've had this conversation even with Shah Rukh sir that how is your son so calm? Isko gussa hi nahi aata hai. Like 100 things could be going wrong and he's not
snapped. What did Shah Rukh say?
He's like, really? I said, yes sir, like your son, I don't know how can Aryan have asked. I said, how dude? 100 things could be going wrong. He's never snapped at anyone even once.
So when he asked for many takes, so it's all in the same polite tone or what?
Very polite. Sahher, you were really good, but I think we could try something like that. So you would never really let your energy dip.
Right. Well, and that's what needed, right? You don't want the director yelling and screaming, right?
It was the most non-volatile, happy set.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you see? There's definitely a connection with Deols that you have. Here's Bobby Deol. You met Bobby back then?
Yes, I remember when we were shooting in Manali, he had come. I met him briefly, but this time around, I was just so happy to be working with him. He's a lovely guy and he really helps you out with your scene. So my scene with him, when the confrontation scene, he was really helping me out that, you could perform it this way, maybe you could think of this while doing that scene. He's been lovely.
There's so much to learn from, say, someone like Bobby who has his own second innings going on.
Yes.
And he also talks about it very openly. He's like, I didn't have work and suddenly I have work.
Yes.
What is there to learn from these people who is one so legendary himself and is thankful that I have a second innings?
Exactly, to just be grateful, I think, at every given moment that you're living a dream which so many others are currently dreaming of. Like now also when I see people and when they are auditioning, I'm just like, there's so much talent out there, they're just not those many opportunities, I guess. So I think every time I'm on a film set, my heart is just full of gratitude because I've seen the days when I didn't have work, and now that I, when I was part of Bags of Bollywood, and just every day just being on set, I would just like thank God.
Right. Tell me about your co-actors. What is it like? Who's the party person? Who's the quiet person? Who will be like, we got it, we got to go and celebrate? Is your director like that? Is your co-actor like that?
Everybody, in fact. There was nobody who was like quiet or, everybody who had a fun. Raghav actually was the funniest. Even offset, he would say something randomly and I would like laugh for 10 minutes straight. He's too funny.
He's very funny. Talking about your character,
yes.
What do you watch? What do you do? What do you read? Who do you talk to get into this character?
When we first got our scripts, I did a lot of like prep work in kind of thinking about the backstory of this character and all of that. But then when I met Aryan, and I just realized that he's the kind of director I just need to submit to, and then I just like let him kind of handhold me through it all. So we did extensive workshops, and there was never really a point where he told me that, listen, you're playing a star kid, so like watch her videos or this one's videos. We just wanted to keep Karishma Talwar really fresh. But I think it's all Aryan, and it's all those extensive workshops which finally translated.
Wow. If you can you give him suggestions if you all reach a creative difference, what happens?
He is very accommodative and very receptive to the feedback. And he takes it also if he's feeling that it's fine, but I feel like because he was so clear in his vision, like he knew what he wanted,
right?
So sometimes he would tweak here and there, but more often than not he knew what he wanted, and that's what he wanted.
Did you give at any point you said, let's try this? What, like, if you can give me an example?
So many times actually. Climax, a couple of scenes. I can't really remember the exact scenes, but there were a couple of times where I was like, should we try this? Should we try this? And he's like, okay, let's do another take. Do it your way. See what you feel like.
Right.
And then, so he would give that liberty.
And then when you saw it, was it exactly how you all imagined? Because performing is one thing, seeing it, the final edit is another.
I'm finding it funnier as many times as I'm watching, because now I think I've like detached as Karishma Talwar, and now I'm watching it as Sahher. So now when I'm seeing it, yesterday also last night, in fact, I was watching it, I'm finding it even more funny. And now I'm beginning to think of, stitch things together, like, oh, Aryan must have thought this, and
that day also I asked all this question. Bobby obviously didn't answer, but you tell me, there are so many scenes where I myself, being an outsider, I feel that yaar ye to aisa hua hai. Did you feel any scene that, wow, this has happened around me and I've seen this? Are there any scenes that you feel are so close to reality? It's a Bollywood show based on everyone around.
Wow. I think, like, when they're just fake praising each other on the red carpet. I think all of that is quite like,
that is. Tell me now, and now when people are messaging you and calling you, what is the common thing that you're seeing in all messages, all calls, and what are people connecting with so much?
They're actually finding Karishma Talwar's character really relatable and really likable. Initially, my chats with Aryan used to be like, but she's a privileged kid, and round table also Asman is kind of like saying, oh, you're this privileged person. So people shouldn't start hating her that, she comes from privilege or whatever. But I think the most common thing that I'm getting is that they're really loving Karishma Talwar also, what happens in the end. They kind of like empathizing with my character.
That doesn't happen in the real world. Nepo kids don't get too much of that.
Sorry?
I'm saying that doesn't happen in the real world. Nepo kids gets more flack than love, right?
Yeah, so which was my fear exactly. I was like, maybe my character shouldn't become like, somebody who gets flagged, but no, I think people are really empathizing with her.
What was the reaction you got from seniors? Like, saying, what was the reaction from Shah Rukh when did you meet him? You must have met him after the release. What did he say?
I remember I met him also after the first episode. Aryan had called everybody to watch the first episode, and I remember I walked out and Shah Rukh just told me, "Beta, you've done a great job, and are you happy?" He would always like ask you questions like that, like, "Are you happy? Are you happy with what you saw? Are you good?" Like things like that.
Nice. Now, what do you see yourself doing? Now that you are a household name, everybody has seen your show, everybody's talking about it. It's literally a show everybody has seen.
Yes.
What are your plans? What is the next challenge?
My next challenge is to do just exciting parts and meaningful parts also, but I also want to do like romantic films and stuff like that. I would love to do something like a Piku. I love that movie, or a Dear Zindagi. So stuff like that.
And everybody has a list of filmmakers that I want to work. Yeah, who tops your list? Who all top your list?
Oh my God, it's Imtiaz sir, Shujit Sarkar, Meghna Gulzar, Karan sir. There's just too many. Zoya Akhtar.
Right.
Yes.
Do you think this obviously takes you a step ahead and makes it now easy for you to get into the meetings, get you a meeting with a filmmaker, which was tough maybe some time back?
100%. I think I'm seeing like a shift in that sense.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Anything confirmed? Anything lined up, or you wait and watch?
I mean, there are conversations happening, and as soon as they happen, I shall definitely message and tell you.
Super. Thank you so much, and can't wait to see more of you.
Thank you.
Very well done. Also well done. It not just for your role. You stuck around. You stuck around from 2019.
Yes.
till 2025 we are in, and that is a lesson for everyone watching.
Yes.
If before going, if you were to tell girls and boys who are trying, what would be your go-to tip?
My go-to tip is that if I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm from Shimla, didn't have any connections from the film industry, didn't know anybody in Mumbai city. So if somebody can do it, anybody can do it. You just have to have faith in yourself and just keep going at it.
Thank you so much, and
Thank
best
you.
of luck. I'm glad we did this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Super.
Hi, this is Sahher Bambba and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.